Welcome guys, Damien live stream. I am Damien. In today's live stream, we're going to talk about the price of oil. Seems to be the hot commodity, literally the hot commodity. The hottest trade to be trading right now is the price of oil. We currently see that oil is trading at $91 a barrel. We will talk about cryptocurrencies and we will get to your requests. I see your request there, DZ. Thank you for coming into the chat. But yeah, we're going to first start by talking about oil and how this is going to affect the markets. And then we'll talk about Bitcoin and crypto after that and talk about your requests here. I see VVV is your first request there, DZ. Thank you for putting in that request. And let me see. Let me just check to see what my TikTok guys are saying right now. I'm just quickly go in the chat here, see if there's any requests here, but I don't think I see any requests. I do see someone asking, will Bitcoin go up again? We'll talk about Bitcoin after we look at oil. All right, and then we'll get to your other requests here. But let's get started here. So the price of oil currently trading around like $90 a barrel here, and oil has hit some levels that should act as resistance. We do have a 2618 at $87. I highlighted $87 only because if you go back in previous history, price action history, we did see that around April 2024, the price of oil was topping out at $87 here. Okay, so I think that's going to be a resistance level for now, which actually didn't really act as too much of a resistance because we got above it, but we might hover around here for a little bit before we make our next move up on oil. If oil does continue to go higher, we do got a 3618 that says $99 a barrel here. I think that's going to be the psychological levels, $100 barrel oil. If they don't open up that Strait of Hormuz, if they don't make the oil taker companies feel safe about sending oil to out of the Persian Gulf here, then you're gonna see $100 barrel oil probably. Yeah, that could happen probably next week, probably on Sunday night. Who knows? Unless Donald Trump addresses it. But Trump, he did say something along the lines of that they might provide insurance for the companies that are insuring the oil tankers here. However, I think they looked into it and they realized that they're gonna be able to do that because it's just too much money. And they need to get congressional approval for that to come up with the money for that. So that's kind of like getting thrown out the window. And then Trump did say that they will provide some assistance to military assistance to like defend the oil tankers here, but it's not really a priority. They said they'll get around to it, and it's like that's not what the market wants to hear. Getting around to it, like they need to do that now, or else the markets are going to punish Trump and the Trump administration by setting the price of oil above $100 a barrel. Right now, nobody feels confident, especially with the oil tankers getting blown up in the Strait of Hormuz and insurance companies canceling insurance on some of these companies here. It's going to be a problem until they address it with a little bit more sincerity. So there you go. I think oil could go up to like $99 a barrel, but I would expect it to like hang out near $90 initially, okay? But $100 barrel could happen on Sunday night, or it could happen on for next week, sometime next week here. If oil does pull back for whatever reason, if Iran decides to surrender, because that's always a possibility, right? Iran could just unconditionally surrender, as Donald Trump wants them to do, then we could see oil come right back down to the $78 level here. Okay, which was previous price resistance. This was actually where oil got up to back here in 2025 when they first started dropping bombs on Iran. Okay, so I think that could be a support level for oil. If it does come down there, we might actually drop a little bit lower down to like $70 barrel oil before we bleed down further. But I think right now everybody's got caught off guard, and they want to see more sincerity with the Trump administration defending the oil tankers before they actually send them through the Strait of Hormuz. At least that's what I'm gathering from listening to the news here. All right, moving on from oil, let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at VVV for DZ here. Bitcoin Currently trading at $68,230, and Bitcoin is negatively reacting to the news about oil going up to $90 a barrel, causing inflation, which would then cause the Federal Reserve to not lower interest rates on their next Federal Reserve meeting. We actually had a report, a U.S. jobs report, right, that came out today, showing that the United States lost 90,000 jobs last month, okay, when they were expecting to make 50,000 jobs. Now, that is a number that would have been, you know, cause for concern and cause the Federal Reserve to actually lower interest rates. But the Federal Reserve is not going to lower interest rates with, you know, oil going to $100 a barrel, because that's going to cause a lot of inflation all throughout the economy. So with that being said, the fact that we're not going to be getting money printers turning on and lower interest rates here, that's hard for Bitcoin and also the stock market to climb up to higher prices here. You know, we were eyeballing that if Bitcoin was to climb to higher prices, right, we could possibly see some resistance here at the $78,000 level here, where Bitcoin traded sideways in the beginning of February. And then we were maybe thinking that Bitcoin could climb up to 84K, which is actually where that, you know, 50-day moving average is kind of sitting at. And then also 87K, which were the levels that we were playing around with back here in December and January, right? But, you know, with the way the markets are reacting to $100 or $90 a barrel oil here, and inflation being an issue here, I'm not sure if Bitcoin can actually get up to that, to these levels here, 84,000, 87,000. It was a nice idea, you know, when a couple of days ago we thought, like, you know, everything was going pretty well with, well, not that everything's going well, but we thought like this could be a short-lived war with Iran getting their butt kicked and so many leaders in Iran, you know, getting eliminated over the beginning few days of the war here. There was some optimism that this could be a short-lived war, but what did they do? They actually added, they got a new Ayatollah coming in, all right, a new leader, and Iran is still launching rockets. And, you know, we're thinking like, all right, well, maybe the United States has done what they needed to do and they can leave. And Donald Trump is saying that they're not going to accept any surrender from Iran until it's an unconditional surrender. So, yeah, it's looking like the war is going to last a little bit longer than people thought. It could have ended, you know, in the first couple of weeks here. It looks like it is going to be a long, months-long war. And, you know, Bitcoin actually is reacting negatively to that right now, as we start losing hope for a short-lived conflict here. Now, Bitcoin is starting to get some support up to 21 EMA. This 21 EMA white line here is where Bitcoin could get some support at 67,700. Looks like today we came down to 67,700. We came right down to the 21 EMA. Okay. But also there's another level here at 67,200 that could act as support. This is a level that has acted as support and resistance over the last few weeks here. And if I throw on one of my indicators here, one of my favorite indicators, which is the VRVP indicator here, you're going to see that at the $67,000 level here, we got a high volume node, a lot of volume here at 67,000. So I think Bitcoin will get support at 67K before it actually decides to dump further than that. And if it does decide to dump further than that, we do got the 63K level. We've seen that Bitcoin over the last couple of months here. When it does go below 63K, it doesn't stay there for longer than one day. Matter of fact, we don't even have any candle closes here in the daily time frame that we close below 63K. So, 63K is also a very strong support area as of now for Bitcoin. Okay, so we got some support here for Bitcoin to hold us up, 63K and 67K. And if those areas don't hold up, then it gets to be, a little bit dire where we start talking about like Bitcoin going to 50K or 40K. All right, let's see. We got DZ in the chat here. It says Faye is a coin that, you want me to take a look at Faye at some point here? Or you're just making a statement that it did an 8x on us? That's crazy. And then let's see. DZ says, are we going to get that $2,000 relief check? Have you heard about that? Because I didn't get that check. All right. Formerly Frojo says Plume. He wants to take a look at, I guess, Plume here. We can do that for you. For sure. And then let me see what else you guys have said here on TikTok while I was giving my spiel there about Bitcoin and oil. Agala says oil, gold to the moon, going to the moon until the war ends. Yeah, pretty much. It seems that way. And let's see. Agala says we are on a bullish momentum. Yep. Lucas says, what are my thoughts on oil and gold? I just gave you my thoughts on oil and gold. The price of oil is going to remain elevated, and we're going to see higher prices for oil until they start sending those oil tankers out of the Strait of Hormuz. And right now, I just feel like the Trump administration, I know they're preoccupied with conducting days of a war, but they got to start getting that oil flowing again by actually putting some, destroyers. Some, United States Navy needs to be escorting the oil tankers in and out of there. They got to get the tankers that need to leave with oil, and then they got to also defend the tankers that are coming in with empty tanks that need to get filled up with oil. They got to defend them as well. So it's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. And then my thoughts on Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is going to probably suffer because all the inflation that's being caused by the price of oil is not going to make the Federal Reserve feel good about lowering interest rates. And some people are not going to be interested in buying Bitcoin when they could be buying oil instead and making a killing, right? Okay. Let's see. We got Laureen's in the chat here. Good to see you, Laureen. Thank you for sending me the heart me here. Let's move on to taking a look at VVV, and then we'll take a look at Plume. And I just seen your request there, DZ, for Faye. We're going to look at VVV and then Plume, and then we'll come back around to looking at Faye for you. All right, VVV, USD. Oh, let's see. Venice token currently trading at $5.78 here. Down 6% today. Almost 7%. And I said that, I believe we talked about analysis in this. We need to stay above the $5.80, $5.86 area, this golden pocket here. If not, look out below. You'll probably come down at maybe initially to this 21-day moving average sitting at 474, which is kind of close to that 0.32 at 422. So I think between 422 and 474 is their support zone for Venice as of now. Just looking at the Fibonacci and the moving averages here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as support goes for you on Venice. I mean, this thing has been making a lot of money over the last couple of weeks here. But if Venice starts catching bids nowhere, then we could possibly see this thing climb up to the 786 retracement at $7.03 before making its way up to $8.51 like it did earlier this Monday, earlier this week. But I don't know what Venice token does. I don't know if it has any. I don't know if it's going to be able to sustain the momentum. This thing might come back down just as fast as it went up. So I would expect $4 Venice in the near future, unless this thing is able to continue the momentum to the upside. Does it have the momentum to the upside? Let's look at the MACD indicator. Momentum is coming down. The buying pressure is dying down. The blue line's curving down. Orange line is still climbing up, but it takes a while for the orange line to actually make a change in direction. If this blue line crosses the orange line to the downside, you're going to start seeing selling pressure showing up, and this thing will probably be at $4 or lower if that happens here. So I don't like what I'm seeing here with the momentum. I would take profits and probably look for a short on VVV as far as things are going. I think this thing is probably going to go down to $4 before it goes up to $8. Alright, moving on from VVV, we'll take a look at Plume here. And then we got to take a look at Faye or DZ here. Just out of curiosity, has anybody taken advantage of trading oil this week? There is a way to trade oil on these cryptocurrency exchanges. Some of them have oil you can trade on. I can take a look at that later on in the live stream so I can show you guys how to actually trade oil here. Because that's what I was doing this week. I made pretty good killing. Probably could have made more if I stayed in the contracts. but I made close to like $1,500 just trading oil this week. All right, let's see. We're gonna take a look at Plume. Yeah, I think if I stayed in my oil contracts, my oil futures, I probably could have made 3 grand. But you know, you can't be too greedy, right? All right, let's look at Plume here. Plume is currently trading at 1 cent, up 8.4% today. Getting above the 21 EMA, that's the start of something good here. If we were to continue climbing up, I would expect some resistance at that 50-day moving average, sitting at $0.01.5, which is kind of like confluent with this support resistance area here, back here in January. So I expect $0.01.5 to be your next target to the upside here for Plume. And what has Plume done? It's been going down and to the right. It's been a great way to short, or if you're in spot bags on this, a great way to lose money if that's what you're trying to do. Hey, you know, there's some people that actually do want to try to lose money because they made too much money in another asset and they're trying to. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but some people actually do look for capital losses to go against their capital gains on their taxes. But anyways, yeah, great way to lose money, or if you were shorting it, this would be the only way to make money is to short this thing, because every time you come up to the 21 EMA, this white line, you get rejected. You don't really stay above it. You kind of stayed above it here in January when Bitcoin was threatening to go up to $1K, and it got up to like $97,000 Bitcoin. That was the only time this thing was able to stay above the 21 EMA, barely, before it lost it again. So the fact that you're above the 21 EMA makes me feel somewhat better about this, but I don't know. Is it going to be short-lived like you saw back here in January? Are we going to like end up losing the 21 EMA? Are we going to lose this white line here? Because if we do, I mean, this would be a good time to start shorting it. You can short Plume here, put your stop loss above the candlewick high at about 0.012 pennies here, 0.0125 pennies, and yeah, if this thing is going to continue going down and to the right, it's that's how you make money on this asset, as far as I can see. Do we have bullish divergence saying that maybe the bottom is in? We got to take a look at the RSI here, this red line here. Let's see. Do we got a higher low here? We got a low here on February 5th at 24.92. And then a low here at 26.96. Oh, it kind of is like a little bit of a higher low action going on here. And that was after you made lower lows here on the price. Just gotta get rid of this thing real quick here. But you can see that we made lower lows here on the price, higher lows here on the RSI. This is the beginning of trying to bottom out. So maybe that's why we got this candles, these few green candles here to the upside here. But you're trying to bottom out. The next thing I want to see is either we make a higher low and continue up to higher prices, or we come back down, make a same low, don't go lower than 0.0085 pennies here, make a double bottom, and then you can shoot up to higher prices here. That's what I would like to see here for Plume. So maybe Plume is trying to bottom out here. We just don't know yet, but I wouldn't be interested in adding to a position here until one of two things either happens. Either this thing comes down, makes a higher low, and then it goes up to higher prices, and then you can long after you see this low get formed here. Or the other thing I would like to see here is either we come down and make the double bottom here, where we come down, we bottom out, double bottom, and then we shoot up to higher prices here. After you see something like that, you can long, put your stop loss below the last, low here on the double bottom. And if it plays out, it plays out. You're not risking too much money with having your stop loss right below the double bottom here. All right, moving on from Plume, we'll take a look at FAI. And I'm assuming that's a cryptocurrency here. Freya. I never heard of this one. Never looked at this one before. Is this a meme coin? Because it got like a picture on it. I'm wondering if it's like a meme coin here. Alright, let's take a look at Fraser. Currently trading at 0.0083 pennies here. Up 63% today. Is this why you want me to talk about it, DZ? Because it's up like, how come you weren't asking me about this earlier in the week? You know, DZ, I want to make money too. Where was where were the signals that this thing was gonna rocket up to, like, you know, basically double in money in 1 week here? Because this doesn't help me. Who does this help? This doesn't really help us. Yeah, okay, let's celebrate. Yay, this thing's up 64% today. That doesn't really help me or anybody else here. But nice to see that someone made money, right? It just wasn't us. But what do you have here for Fraser? Fraser is above the 200-day moving average, above the 150, above all the moving averages for the first time in a long time. You haven't been above these moving averages in a while here. But this thing is looking just like all the other meme coins here and all the other altcoins here, where it just goes down and to the right. Great way to lose money is being invested in these shit coins here. All right. So I would probably stick to just trading these altcoins, these shit coins here, because, you know, this is not the only coin, not the only altcoin that's done this over the last year now, losing people money. Okay. All right. Anyways, what can this thing do now? Well, I would expect it to try to come back down to the 200-day moving average, get some support over there, sitting at 0.0057 pennies. Stay above that, and then maybe we can make a bullish case here that this thing is doing something different besides going down and to the right and losing people money. But I'm not sure what else you can do for analysis here besides turn on the VRVP indicator and see what the levels might be above us if there is any high volume nodes here. I see a little bit of volume node here at about a penny, which makes sense. That's like a psychological number there. Oh, it's back to a penny. Let's go ahead and sell it or buy it or whatever. Okay, so a penny could be where this thing would get, you know, initially rejected at, I think. But I don't really see much resistance above it, so I mean it could shoot up from a penny to 2 pennies. Let's see, what did it do back here? I see something going on here about a penny and a half. See, just looking at this, there's like, yeah, about a penny and a half. There's a little bit of high volume here. So I probably mark off a penny and a half as another target to the upside. And I think that's all you can do for now. There's a penny and a half. And then this thing could come back down to the 200-day moving average and get support there. Now, what's the momentum looking like? I'm pretty sure it's probably good. Momentum is, buying pressure is increasing here. So I really wouldn't worry about this thing selling off unless you see the blue line curving down. Once you see the blue line curving down, that's your time to get out and take some profit, and then maybe entertain the idea of taking a short. But you're not getting that right now, so congratulations to the FEI investors. But maybe it might be time to take some profit, just a little bit. Try to realize some profits, and then, you know, when we get up to a penny, we'll see how we handle ourselves there. But I think that's another area for you to take some profit as well. Let's see, DZ says FEI is a virtual artificial intelligence, virtual AI coin. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Lorraine, for smashing that like button. We got up to like 2,200 likes here. Appreciate that. Guys, don't forget to double tap your screen. When you double tap your screen, that's how you send the likes here on TikTok here. But for my TikTok, guys, let me show you guys how to actually get invested and trade oil. Since oil was like the trade to be in this whole week here. Okay, we've seen that oil is up 15% today, $91 a barrel oil, and it might continue up to $100 a barrel here. Whether you want to long or short oil, you can actually do that here on MEXC exchange. MEXC exchange has oil futures here, perpetual futures, and you can trade oil on MEXC for 0 fees. There's no fees there. Let me just type that in. But you can see that $0 fees here. There's 2 different pairs. You could trade oil that's like, you know, related to United States oil, or you could actually trade oil for UK oil, or I think they call it Brent crude oil. It's a little bit higher over there at $93 a barrel because they don't got the American oil. American oil is a little bit cheaper than London oil. Anyways, you could trade either one of them if you want to, and you can see that you could trade this here on MEXC exchange. You know, you could use how much leverage can I do here? I could do up to like 200x leverage if I wanted to. That's crazy. Okay. I normally stick to like 40x leverage or less than that, but if you need to, you can trade, you know, 40x leverage there on MEXC. All right. So if you wanted to trade MEXC, how do you even get started with MEXC? For my TikTok guys, you're gonna have to go over to the Meet Damien TikTok. Don't forget to follow me here, right? There is a link here under my bio. You click on that link tree, right? It's gonna take you to the Meet Damien link tree, and you'll get the website, the link tree here. And if you scroll down, you'll see the MEXC link there. You'll see where you can trade MEXC. You can also trade oil on Coinbase exchange as well. I don't have a link. I need to put a link here for Coinbase, but I haven't done that yet here for my link tree. But if you guys want to trade oil on Coinbase, you could do that, right? You could do that by just sending me a link. Send me a message here on TikTok, and I'll give you the referral link to get started with Coinbase, unless you already got Coinbase. But if you got Coinbase, you do have to be trading on Coinbase Advanced. On the bottom left here, you'll see there's a toggle switch where you can turn Coinbase Advanced on or off. You want to make sure you turn it on, and it should be like this black screen here. And you can trade futures here on Coinbase. There's a bunch of futures. You can trade silver, gold, Bitcoin, oil, Ethereum, XRP, Platinum, Solana, natural gas, copper, AVEX, Litecoin, XLM futures, Dogecoin, Sui futures. The list goes on here. Coinbase pretty much has all the futures you could think of, right? You can trade that here on Coinbase, okay? Maybe not all of them. They don't have all the cryptocurrency futures like MEXC does. But Coinbase, you can trade more than just oil, gold, and silver. You could trade like natural gas and copper, which I don't see that on MEXC. So each exchange has their own advantages and disadvantages here. But I know Coinbase and MEXC, you could trade oil on both of those cryptocurrency exchanges. So you just gotta figure out which one you want to use. I think for the American guys, you might want to check on Coinbase because Coinbase is an American cryptocurrency exchange. But you do have to turn on Coinbase Advanced, and then I think you have to sign up for futures trading. You got trade derivatives here. They might ask for a few more questions. Make sure your account has the money to actually trade futures. But you can get started with Coinbase. And then for people who are outside the United States, you might still be able to trade on Coinbase and trade oil futures, but I know MEXC, a lot of people from outside the United States, they trade on MEXC exchange. And MEXC, you can, like I said, you can get started with MEXC. And you know, when you get started with MEXC, you normally don't need a VPN unless you're in the United States. If you're in the United States and you want to trade on MEXC, you're gonna probably have to use a VPN to get around their rules and regulations there, because they don't like having American customers because they don't want to have to deal with the rules and regulations of America. So I would say for my American guys, check out Coinbase for oil futures, but my you know, outside of America, my European guys, my Asian guys, if you guys want to trade oil, I would try to do it on MEXC exchange because you got that right there, US oil on MEXC. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Let me catch on the chat, see what you guys have to say about that. Let's see. Thank you, Pedro Felicio, for following me here on TikTok. Thank you. And I see that Lorene is moderating here as the moderator on TikTok. She muted Crypto Zico. I don't know if that was by accident or not, but I see that she muted him and then unmuted him. All right. Let's see. We got Ava Medina is my other moderator, and he's here on YouTube. He's putting out the Meet Damien Discord link. there is a Meet Damien Discord. So for my TikTok guys, if you guys want to keep the conversation going on here, over here on TikTok, let me just refresh the page here. But on the Meet Damien TikTok, don't forget to follow me if you haven't done so already. Come join the 6,700 followers that I got here. There is a link here for Discord. But if that doesn't work, you can actually just click on Linktree here. And you'll see the Meet Damien Discord, which is free to join. Click on that link, and you will see, you know, what's going on here in the Discord. Where we, you know, this is where I put up the announcement for the live streams that I do. Share some funny memes here. Share what's going on in the news. And then, of course, you know, we share our trades here. Tony Stark's up 214% on a 42x short on Bitcoin. Congratulations, Tony. We got Let's Go. Let's Go is over here trading oil on MEXC exchange. He's up 198% on his 20x leverage long here with oil. Got in at 82 bucks, and right now, price of oil is trading near 91 bucks. Congratulations to Let's Go. And of course, you know, here's some TikTok videos I've shared. And then here's me trading Coinbase. For those who want to know, like today, I was up about almost 300 bucks here on my oil contracts. There's one of them that I still had running up, you know. So yeah, there's me trading on Coinbase there, and you can see, you know, price of oil doing pretty well. And this is what it looks like kind of trading on Coinbase here. You can either buy or long or sell and short. And you can trade oil futures contracts. Expires March 19th. That's what that number's there for. Yep, and then of course there's me sharing the news about what's going on with Iran and stuff like that. So yeah, this is where we stay in touch, talk about what's going on in the markets here, share ideas. If you guys have trade setups, we got you know, a trade setup channel here where we talk about where we're going to put our entries, our stop losses, and our take profits at. Okay, there's Cameron giving out his entry for XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, and his stop losses there. And of course, Cameron's reminding everybody, make sure you don't use more than 1% of your account on any particular trade with you know, your stop loss. Like you can use, you know, 20% of your account in a trade. Just make sure your stop loss is only going to take out 1% of your account. Okay, because you could do that like 99 more times before you actually you know, end up blowing up your account. But we got that trade set up, and of course, you know, we got the Show Your Gains channel here where I showed my gains here on oil. I did do a trade earlier this week where I was up $1,000 on oil. But then we also got other guys here like Cameron. Cameron loves using 100x short leverage here. He's doing a short on Bitcoin, up 480%. Congratulations, Cameron, on that. I think I might have liked it. Oh, I didn't. Let me go ahead and just put the fire emoji there for him. Okay. Cameron's one of the more experienced traders who's comfortable using 100x leverage here. And then we got other traders here like Michael trading silver on Blowfin here. And he's shorting silver 45x, up 99%. Congratulations to Michael for doing that. Okay, so this is where we just, you know, share ideas, share our gains. You'll be talking to other traders here in the chat besides myself. So yeah, go ahead and join that Meet Damien Discord. For my YouTube guys, there should be a description. There should be a link in the description to this YouTube video, but then also if you go to the Meet Damien YouTube here, you'll see that here in the links. There should be a Discord link, right? Where's that Discord link? It's like right in front of me, but I'm just not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's that Discord link right there. Okay. So you should be able to do that on YouTube as well. DZ wants me to take a look at Sapien, and then Alva Medina wants me to take a look at Tesla. Let me go ahead and write those down. So we'll look at Tesla first, and then we'll look at Sapien. But guys, tell me what kind of trades were you guys getting into? What was your most profitable trade this week? I know oil was my profitable trade. I was in and out of it a few times this week. Probably should have just stayed in it, but whatever. Probably would have made more money if I just didn't sell, but you know, can't get too greedy either. Alright, so I'm just trying to see if I've missed anything here in the TikTok chat. I don't think I have. I think Lorraine will let me know if I did miss a request here. Alright, let's move on to Tesla. I believe I got Tesla as like one of my watch list items here. Let's see, where is Tesla? There it is. Tesla currently trading at $396, down 2% today. And I got some previous Fibonacci analysis on this. I don't know if I want to keep. Yeah, I'll keep it on. Let me just make sure this thing's locked. Yeah, it's locked in. All right, so Tesla. You topped out here at $498 here on December 22nd of last year. Since then, we've been making lower. Looks like we're making lower highs here in a downtrend, a descending channel here. However, we're coming up on support here with the 200-day moving average, this red line here, sitting at about 392. It's also confluent with the 0.5 retracement at 393 here. So I think Tesla should be getting some support, some strong support here. And you know what? With oil going to like $90 a barrel, $100 a barrel oil maybe. I've heard talks there could be $150 or maybe $200 oil if things get really bad here with the conflict in the Middle East. Guess what? That makes Tesla look that much better, right? Where you wouldn't have to be burning oil to get, you know, your Tesla to run here. However, still have to pay for electricity, right? And oil's not the only problem for what's going on in the Middle East. There's also natural gas. Natural gas is also a problem too. It's actually natural gas. There's food. There's like other things, chemicals that come in and out of the Persian Gulf. So if natural gas is not coming out of the Persian Gulf, and we use natural gas to power up our electric power plants here, then I think it's going to be just as expensive. Maybe not as expensive, but it's going to cost more money as well just to charge up your Tesla here. But maybe not as bad as gassing up a car here for the competition between Tesla and the vehicles that are still running on gasoline here. Sorry. So maybe Tesla might actually start getting some more revenue and more sales later on if the war in Iran continues on here. And if we can just bounce off this 200-day moving average, this golden pocket level at 418, 424 is where I think could be the next upside target for Tesla. So I think the Fibonacci levels are still important to play with here. If you're not a Fibonacci guy and you're just a moving average guy, the 100-day moving average is sitting at 414. I think that could be a target to take some profit on Tesla. And then you just got the 50-day moving average here at 434. Well, let's see. My DeluxeAlgo says that you could long Tesla right now. You do not have a short signal here. The last short signal came in on Tuesday, February 17th. Now you got a long signal here, and you got the 200-day moving average. I feel like Tesla wants to go up, not down. Let's see if we got what the momentum's looking like here for Tesla. MACD is very flatlined. Ugh. You're not really getting any trend going on here. Look at this. MACD cross over the downside, cross over the upside, cross over the downside, cross over the upside. There's no trend. It's just trading flat. But you know, looking at these possible higher lows here, I mean, I think the trend does want to go up for Tesla. I think Tesla does want to go to higher prices here. And then where's my other indicator here? My money flow. What's the money flows doing here? Money flow was in a negative all throughout January and February for Tesla here. But now look at this. Money flow. And then the money flow is this purple magenta stuff here. But the money flow is now going into the green. Okay? You can barely see a little sliver of green here. That's good to see. I think Tesla wants to go to higher prices here, not lower prices. So I think things are looking good for Tesla, from what I'm seeing here on the charts here for Ava Medina. Duali sees in the chat. He says hello everyone, and he does an alien face emoji. Interesting. So that's Tesla, and I didn't really give you downside targets here on Tesla. I think you got to stay above that 200-day moving average. But if you lose that, then maybe the 0.382 could come into play at 368. And it looks like you got some previous price action here at 338, which is your 0.236 retracement. So those are all the levels we'll be looking for to the downside. But I think we might get a bounce off this 200-day moving average, which we kind of already did. And I think Tesla wants to go to, you know, higher prices here from where we are right now. All right, moving on from Tesla, let's take a look at Sapien. Sapien currently trading at 7.5 cents here, down 4%. You had a pretty good November. We went up 179%. On November 6th, I don't know what that's all about. But that was it. Couldn't even sustain above there for too long before you came back down again. Okay. Alright, Sapien. Let's see. Sapien in a downtrend. Lowest low on February 6th at 0.068 pennies. Try to do something here, try to get above the 21 EMA, which was good to see, but then you lost the 21 EMA, which is unfortunate. Maybe Sapien's going to try to do a double bottom here. I mean, you could try to long now. Maybe add to your position when you get down to the lows here. If you get down to like, what was the low here? 0.068 pennies here. Try to play the double bottom. And then you put your stop loss right below 0.068 pennies. Put it maybe, I don't know, 0.065 maybe. And you can maybe play the double bottom here on Sapien. This is going to be a double bottom here. What's what things looking like with the RSI here? If we could just stop going down and actually make a higher low here, then you could probably say that there's some bullish divergence starting to show up here on Sapien. So that would be nice to see if it actually plays out that way. What do we got going on here in the MACD though? MACD is showing a crossover to the downside and selling pressure coming in. Uh-oh. Maybe Sapien does want to go down to lower prices here. And if that's the case, if the momentum's strong, I don't know if we're going to get a double bottom. I mean, you could try to play the double bottom. Just know that it might not actually play out. And we might actually make a lower low here. We might make a lower low. And then come up to higher prices here on Sapien. But if we're making a lower low, right, then maybe the bullish divergence will actually start to show up here, where you're making a lower low on the price, and then hopefully you're making a higher low here on the RSI, where it'll look something like that, and you get your bullish divergence forming. So I'd be very careful here. You could try to play the double bottom, put a tight stop loss, but know that this thing might stop you out, and it might actually bring you down to lower prices here. And then, hey, you know, you can get Sapien at a lower price than 7.5 cents here. Maybe you might get it at 6 or 5 cents here. I see Darren's in the chat here. Good to see you, Darren. Darren says, great info. Thank you. You're welcome, Darren. And let me see what my TikTok guys are saying here. All right. Yeah, just as I would expect, you know, when cryptocurrencies are down, I got a lot of cryptocurrency and traders and investors here, and they just don't want to look at the markets because they're just like, oh, everything's down. They like to show up when we have you know, a good day in the markets here, but we're just not getting that today here. It's a good day for oil though, and I told you guys how to trade oil if you want to. You can trade it on Coinbase exchange, you can trade it on MEXC exchange, and I gave you guys the links to do that, the referral links. So you get started trading oil on MEXC or Coinbase. You pick your exchange, which one you want to use. All right, but I can make this a short stream. If we don't have any more requests, then I'm probably gonna end the live stream sooner rather than later. We can do a 1 hour live stream. I don't need to do 2 hours. I can go get my weekend started. I already made my money. I can go spend my money now, right? But yeah, let's see. Lorraine says, "How's Bitcoin going?" All right, let's finish off. We'll take a look at Bitcoin, because I'm not really getting many requests here, and that's fine. I understand, you know, people are a little bit beat up about the markets. The only winning trade here seems like oil. I mean, there are other ways to play oil going up in price, you know. If you're sophisticated, you could short the airlines and short the cruise lines. I know the airlines and the cruise lines are not going to do so well with high oil prices. All right, we're looking at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is currently trading at 68,292. I think Bitcoin could still probably get some support off of 67K. I don't know if 68K is going to hold, but 68,200 is an idea here because of like some candlewick highs here at that level. Also, if I throw on the VRVP indicator here, there was some high volume here at 68,200, I believe. Let's see. Well, this is showing like this high volume here at 68,800. But there was also 68,200. There's another high volume node here in this area. And then also you got the 21 EMA providing support here. So you got some support between 67 and 68K. If Bitcoin can hold above 67 and 68K, then we could try to challenge ourselves to see if we can get back up to 74K like we did 2 days ago. Right? It's only been 2 days. But then I think if Bitcoin can get past 74K, then, you know, 78K, get some sideways trading action going on there in February. That should be like a temporary resistance level. But I think the big levels to look for to the upside for Bitcoin is 84K and 87K if we're able to get up there. I just don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Do we got the momentum to go there? Let's take a look at the momentum indicators. I mean, the momentum has been pretty strong and solid here for Bitcoin. We've been buying pressure going on since Valentine's Day here. However, you can see that the blue line on the moving averages on the MACD, the blue line is actually starting to go flat. If we don't start going up again, then you're going to start seeing probably buying pressure die down here on Bitcoin. And if buying pressure dies down, you're going to see the price go down. And if we get the blue line crossing the orange line to the downside, like you did here towards the end of January, then you're going to see selling pressure as well. And then that's going to send the price of Bitcoin even lower. So we're paying attention to what's going on here with the momentum here for Bitcoin. If the momentum's not good, you're not going to see higher prices here for Bitcoin. Now let's see, what is money flow doing here for Bitcoin on the daily time frame? Money flow was looking pretty, pretty solid ever since Valentine's Day. Like we saw, money flow is still in the negative, but it not as negative as it was around Valentine's Day. This is a nice trend upward, and the momentum is also to the upside as well. However, I see momentum starting to curve down here. You see, this is the gray momentum wave. It's starting to curve down. If this continues downward, then the money flow is going to start decreasing again, and you're going to see price of Bitcoin also decrease as well. So we're kind of wary of what's going on here with Bitcoin. Let's see what's going on in the 1 hour time frame. See what the weekend traders can do with Bitcoin. What could come next here for Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. It's like my day trading time frame. On the MACD indicator, selling pressure is starting to die down here. Okay. But here's the problem. We've seen selling pressure die down only for it to start increasing again. Selling pressure die down, increase again. So are we going to get something like that, right? If we get something like that, then this might be the highest price you can get Bitcoin, and you might want to enter a short because we could be going down to lower prices here. Maybe we can probably head down to like 63K here on Bitcoin, which I know is a solid support area. And then let's see what's money flow doing here on the 1 hour time frame. Money flow was looking good here on Wednesday and Thursday morning, and then we went negative here. Thursday night going into Friday morning here, and it's still getting bad out there as far as money flow is going. So I don't know. I think the way money flow is showing up here on the 1 hour time frame, and the momentum here, yeah, it's dying. The selling pressure is dying down, but it could start increasing again. I think we could see lower prices for Bitcoin this weekend, and if that's the case, it might be time to enter short. Might be time to take profits if you have profits. And I would be expecting Bitcoin to at least come down to 67K, which is only $1,000 away. But you know, we could also see Bitcoin probably go lower than that, down to 63K. And if that's the case, let me just zoom out here real quick here, and let me get rid of some of the stuff here. If this is what's going on here with Bitcoin, right? Maybe this was a fake out to the upside, and this could have been like a bull trap, and we had this little fake out, and then we get sent down below this bear pennant. And if this bear pennant plays out, right, we could see Bitcoin go down to 52K or 43K. Let me just show you here real quick here. I'm going to give you like kind of like a doomsday target here for Bitcoin. But if we did what we did in January, going into the beginning of February here, and this is a bear flag, right? And we break out of this bear flag to the downside, it's showing that we could see Bitcoin. Oh my God. Really? 27K? Is that blue number right there? Oh my God. We go down pretty down hard and fast here on Bitcoin. But yeah, that's that doomsday target, 27K. I thought this was going to show that we were going to go to 43K or maybe 51K here. But the reason why I got 51K and 43K here, just in case it really does get nasty out there in Bitcoin, is because 51K was an area that we traded at here back here in February of 2024. But 43K is a stronger support area where we traded sideways at 40K between December 2023 going into like February 2024. That's going to be a support area for Bitcoin if we do start dropping below 60K and 50K here. But man, let me just double check this. Is this bear flag really showing that we could drop down like that? I think I just had it from here last time I did the bear flag. But even so, like that's still going to be a pretty bad, nasty drop. Taking it down to like 34K here. Oh my God. So it looks like, you know, we could still be on the hook to go to low prices here for Bitcoin and crypto. Especially with the way the oil markets are acting right now. But yeah, guys, that's my analysis for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin might, usually the weekend is not really a busy time frame for Bitcoin. Usually we would expect sideways trading during the weekend here, so I would expect Bitcoin to stay at 68K for the most part, but I think we could trend down to 67K or maybe even go down to 63K just from what I've seen on the momentum indicators here. Unless something changes, unless we get some good news, like, you know, Iran is gonna surrender to the United States and Israel, then that should cause the price of Bitcoin to actually go up to 70K or higher than that. But yeah, I just don't like what I'm seeing on the 1 hour time frame unless this selling pressure starts turning into buying pressure in the next couple hours, pay attention to the next couple hours. I know Bitcoin, the daily candle should be closing at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is like an hour and 20 minutes from now. So pay attention to how Bitcoin closes on the daily time frame. Because if it's a really bad close, it's gonna probably lead into a bad Saturday and then a bad Sunday as well. So we'll have to see how it handles itself. If we start climbing up to like 69K between now and the next hour or two, then yeah, I think we might be able to pull ourselves out of here. Okay, for Bitcoin, but right now it's very questionable. Very questionable. So that's how I'm gonna leave it at for Bitcoin and crypto, and we'll just have to take a look at the charts again. I go live again Monday. I'll be going live around the same time, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. I should have a normal schedule. I know I've been going live, you know, at later hours of the day, and also, you know, sometimes I've been skipping out on doing the live streams only because I've been still busy with my rental unit. I'm trying to get ready for a renter who's going to be moving in this weekend. So they'll be moving in this weekend. Hopefully there's no problems, and then I can go back to my normal regular schedule of going live at 4 p.m. Eastern time, Monday to Friday. But yeah, guys, thank you for coming into the live stream. We'll listen to some music on the way out, and I'll try to answer some of the TikTok questions as I do this outro here. Alright guys, take care, and I'll see you on Monday.